If I gave you 10 coins, you wouldn't call yourself rich. What if I gave you another, and another, and another, and another? There'd come a point where you'd have to say you became rich because one coin made it so. What if you translated this analogy to habits though? What if you performed a habit for one day, and then another, and another, and another? You'd come to the realization that because of one small change, you have received remarkable results. Through that analogy, you can see how powerful habits can become. Habits are a double-edged sword though. They can work for you and they can work against you. And they also compound, like interest. So if you became 1% better every day for an entire year, by the end of the year, you would have become 37 times better. On the inverse, if you became 1% worse every day, by the end of the year, you would have regressed back to nearly zero. Now that you can see the power and utility of habits and how they compound, and small changes every day, small actions every day, can result in remarkable achievements, you need to understand what habits to build. And the following 5 that I'm going to take you through, I believe, are ones that people should put into practice every day, because I believe that they will increase and improve your life, your mind, and every aspect of your human experience. Number 1, exercise. Every day you must move your body. Now, I do not mean walking your fat ass to the fridge to get yourself another snack. Nor does this mean using your hand to play with your didgeridoo. No, I mean move it in new and natural ways. Throw your weight around, have fun with your body. It's not natural to be still for several hours a day. We are made to move, whatever that movement may be. Weightlifting, calisthenics, cardio. It doesn't matter, not at the start. You just need to begin. Being fit and healthy is basic to living. It's a foundation that everything builds upon. Without a strong body, it's more difficult to leverage a strong mind. Without a strong body, it's difficult to enjoy your life. Being fit and healthy isn't a recommendation for living your best life, it is a requirement. And there are hundreds of benefits to being fit and strong. You actually start to like yourself. You build respect for yourself. People have more respect for you. You get confidence in yourself and your abilities. You become more attractive because of both your physique and your confidence. You have a better connection and understanding of your body and how it's best utilised. And it also leads you on to other habits. If you're spending so much energy, time and dedication in building this Herculean physique, you're not going to want to ruin it by drinking, sleeping like shit, eating like shit. It's going to move you on to more productive and better habits like diet and recovery. Now, when you start working out and your exercise, you want to keep it simple. It does not want to be overcomplicated. You want to minimize the amount of decisions that you have to make. Because when you overcomplicate things and you're thinking about several things at once, it becomes overwhelming and counterproductive. Standardize before you optimize. Depending on your environment and if you have access to a gym or weights, what you're training and what you'll be able to train will be different. The first decision you'll have to make is the type of training that you want to do or can do. Do you want to do weightlifting, calisthenics, bodybuilding, whatever it is? You have to make the decision that you're going to decide on one of these styles. The next decision you have to make is the frequency at which you are going to train. Is it going to be 3 really fucking hard days, 4 hard days, or is it going to be 6 days a week focusing on specific muscle groups? A simple search on YouTube will get you a program based on your requirements and the decision that you've made. So literally searching up on YouTube will bring you a whole recommendation of programs that you can do. Just search up bodybuilding, simple program 3 days a week. You will get all the programs you need. But I want you to watch a maximum of 3. We don't want to overcomplicate the decision and overload your mind with information. All the information is most likely correct, but you just need to start. We want action, not motion. If you want to do weights, I'd recommend watching Jeff Nippard. I've linked a video of his in the description. For calisthenics, I like YV Gore. Again, I have linked a video of his in the description. But the main point to make is you keep it as simple as possible. You don't want to overcomplicate it. I'd also make it as short as possible. Whilst you're doing this exercise, you want to do it with maximum effort and you want it to be enjoyable. When it becomes too much hard work, you get demotivated and bored, and you're not putting as much effort. So you want to go in, absolutely blast it out, and then come out. Once you've built up the habit and it becomes more of a routine to go to the gym, then you can stay there for longer. But at the start, I'd keep it simple, keep it short, keep it effective. 2. Meditation. The present moment, or the now, is all that we ever experience. It is all that we have. Meditation is the art of keeping your focus on the now, or the present moment. It removes all thoughts of the past and the future. You could also consider being focused on the now as being in a state of flow, or activating your theta brainwaves. By meditating deeply, you can train your ability to focus on the now like a muscle to last for longer and longer periods of time. And it also is an incredible way of improving your ability to maintain and live with being bored. Because boredom is a prevalent problem in our present society. With short form content like TikToks, shorts, reels being shoved down people's throats, most young people can't focus for longer than 30 seconds. And if they have to sit with themselves in silence for longer than a minute, they go clinically insane. Everyone has to deal with being bored and listening to their thoughts. So being able to maintain control and not break down in a situation where this will happen to you, because it's not an uncertainty, it will happen to you. Being able to live with that and understand that, one, it's not a bad thing, and being in control and using it as a good thing can only be useful. And again, when you start, you want to keep it simple. I'd recommend downloading a meditation app like Medito, or going onto YouTube, watching a meditation tutorial and just following that along. At the beginning, you're going to be shit, like with everything. But as you continue to do it, you'll improve more and more, and aim for that 1% improvement every day. Whether that is in the length of your meditation or the depth of your meditation, both are improvements. And meditation improves your focus, your capability to live in the present, the synchronicity of your mind and your body, your ability to resonate with nature. It calms down your mind and you begin to observe and respond to events rather than react to them. Meditation just gives you that sense of clarity that you oftentimes feel like you are missing. It removes the clouds from your head. 3. Gratitude. Acknowledging what you have and what you have been given is one of the easiest ways to improve your life, to make it much more enjoyable and complete. The best way to start this is just by acknowledging what you have, just thinking about it. You have the sun. The sun is responsible for your life. It provides the energy for plants through photosynthesis, and plants produce oxygen, which we breathe. Plants also feed ruminants like cows and sheep, which we eat. So it feeds us through oxygen and feeds us nutritionally. You also live in a world where information is right at your fingertips. If you want to learn any subject in the world, all you have to do is search it up. You've got hundreds, if not thousands of people on YouTube willing to teach you for free, so you can become an expert in most fields, and at least theoretically, and it doesn't take as long as it would previously. It's not such an extenuous process. You can do it all from your house as well. You can travel to anywhere in the world. Traveling hundreds of miles takes a few hours, and previously that would have taken days, weeks, months, and possibly even years. Like, the ability to travel is just a time trick. We can travel so far in so little time. It is obscene. Global supply is also obscene. 90% of the things that you will need on a day-to-day basis you can find in a supermarket. And all that shit in the supermarket as well comes from all over the world. Like, that's obscene. You have things coming from China, coming from South Africa, and they all get there, all in the UK, ready to eat. Like, that is obscene. Fruit goes off fairly quickly. I know it's got preservatives on it, but to get something from South Africa to the UK to sell whilst it is fresh is frankly mind-blowing. One of the most obscene ones, though, is you can communicate to anybody anywhere in the world. If you are in one area, you can immediately communicate to someone on the other side of the planet. Previously, you'd have been sending letters that were taking 3 months to get there, and then you'd have to wait another 3 months for a reply. So if you wanted to have a conversation with a friend who was in Asia, you'd be having 6 months for their wait for their reply. By that point, you would have forgotten what you sent in your letter. And most importantly, you are alive. You have the opportunity to improve, the opportunity to make money, and the opportunity to get the girl that you want. And even if you fail and you don't grasp the opportunity, you have the opportunity to try as many times as you like. How amazing is that? Now, a common question is, how do I balance being grateful for what I have while still wanting more and still being ambitious? And that's easy to answer. Gratitude is just spending time thinking about what you're grateful for. Going, I got here because of X. Even if you only think about them for a breath or two, it's still being grateful, it's still gratitude. As long as you don't disrespect that, then you are being grateful. And you are a product of everything that has happened to you. Every person you have met, every conversation you have had. Every song you've listened to, every video, movie, TV show that you have watched, every experience you have had has accumulated to become you. Understand this. Understand that you are only where you are because of everyone that came before you and every interaction you have had. You may hate your life at the moment. You may detest yourself. But you're taking steps to changing your life and to improving. That's why you're watching this video. This means that no matter what your past has been, you have to have some sense of gratitude for it, because it has put you on the path to improving, to wanting to become a better version of yourself. Your past has put you on the path to becoming great, to becoming the best version that you can be of yourself. No matter how bad it was, it's put you on this path. And if you stick on this path, you can truly become great. 4. Reading. Books are a condensed version of a person's experience. They give the author's perspective on certain topics. This is why they are so powerful. One book can change your entire perspective on life. And your perspective is how you perceive everything that happens to you. Let's say that you got reprimanded for whatever reason. You could take that as criticism and as a personal attack, and you can whine and bitch about it and let it ruin your day. Or you can take it as the enlightenment of an area where you can improve upon, and you can be happy about it because then you know you can improve. It's the same situation but two vastly different responses to it. And perspective is powerful because it changes the dynamic of the relationship between you and an external circumstance. It changes the tint on the glasses that we wear. This is why books are so powerful, because they give you a perspective you may not have previously considered. They give you more information to work from. Now, a question you may have is, I can just get the information that I can get in a book from a YouTube video or from some other video, and they're easier. And yes, you can, but the problem with that is that most people's listening skills and attention skills are just shit. Not through your own fault, but because when you're at school, you don't really listen to the teacher. You just messing around with your mates. And when you're at home, you usually have several different forms of entertainment one at a time. So even if you may be listening to something on YouTube, if it's on a TV, you may be on your phone. And even if it's on the TV, you may be listening to music, or if it's on your phone, you may have music on in the background. Or you may be playing a game. So you're not wholly focused on it. So you're absorbing the information, but not absorbing it properly. It's becoming unconscious, but you don't get to refine it. And reading, on the other hand, forces you to be focused on the book. If you're not looking at it, you're not learning, you are just wasting your time. It forces you to be more conscious because you have to look at the book and translate it into something you can understand. You can't read a book with minimal effort because then you're not reading it, you're just looking at words on a page. Whilst you're reading, you may be picturing yourself doing the actions or the instructions that are written in the book. If it's a book on habits and it's telling you how to effectively build habits, you may picture yourself doing that. That's more likely to lead to action than if you do nothing, because nothing changes if nothing changes. And a complaint you may have is, I can't read because it's so boring. Yes, reading is boring, especially when you first start, because your brain is so fucked by all that shit you previously consumed that you just can't stay still. You don't have the ability to focus long enough to actually learn anything from reading. When you stick with reading for long enough though, and you're actually learning new ways to improve, reading becomes fun. It becomes a way to level up, become superior. Though you should keep in mind to not use reading as a form of motion, but to use reading with the intention of taking action. People think that just because they're reading, they're improving. This isn't false, but it's not entirely true either. I mean, if you read a book and you gain all the information from it, but you don't implement any of the steps in the book, then what was the point in reading it? You've just wasted all the time and effort you have in acquiring that knowledge because you're not implementing the knowledge. Now, if you don't think that it's going to suit you, fair enough. But if you read a book going, yeah, this is really interesting and I think I could implement this to improve my life, and you don't implement it, you've just read the book, then what was the point in reading the book? So you've got to ensure that you're taking action, because without the action, all your previous steps are useless. 5. Day reviewing. At the end of every day, you should sit down for 10 minutes with a notebook and go through what you have done that day. This could be done as journaling, a diary entry, or a habit tracker. Anything that's going to get you to reflect on the day you have just done. The benefits of this are profound, especially in the long term. You have a detailed record of the actions you have completed over the past X amount of days, weeks, months. You become more conscious of all the actions that you take because you have to take them consciously to tick off the task that you have done. It improves your memory because you are required to remember what you have done. So you've got to remember the things that have happened throughout your day if you're going to review them at the end of the day. And the process that I do, because I don't like journaling because I find it takes too long. So I do a combination of a habit tracker and a journal. And I write down 7 daily tasks that I want to complete, along with my goals and skills that I want to focus on for that day. An example could be consistent, because I want to be consistent every day. And a skill that I want to work on could be play the piano. I write down something that I'm grateful for, the time I've gone to sleep and the time I've woken up. I then write down my long-term goal, the identity of a person who could achieve that goal, and why I want to achieve that goal. I ask myself if I've improved by 1%, and then I finally write down a quote that has inspired me. This could be one that I've read or one that I've thought of. And when you do this process, it needs to be brutally honest. It needs to be as authentic as possible. You don't want to bullshit yourself. Look at your life as if you were looking at someone else's life. Just observe. Don't criticize. You don't want to criticize yourself for your failures, and you don't want to praise yourself for your successes. They are all just monotone. You are just observing. Whilst you may put targets in your notebook, like tasks you want to achieve, this process is to measure to see how you're living. It's not a goal book. It's just to measure to see how you're living. It is to identify any shortcomings and any areas you are ineffective at and that are not producing a desirable result. They're not helping you become the person you want to become. An example of this could be, let's say you want to start running every day. So you go, I'm going to do cardio 3 times a week. I'm going to start running. After 2 or 3 weeks, you've done 4 days of running. You may decide that running isn't for you, and that another form of cardio would suit you better. Maybe cycling, maybe rowing, but you understand that running isn't for you. Or you go, running is the only one I want to do, and I can see that I've been shit over the past 2 weeks, so I'm going to put a plan in place that is going to force me to run. And you can optimize it in either way. But it's a measurement, it's a system of measurement rather than a system of achievement. All we need to do is measure, and we need to be totally empathic when it comes to results. You don't want to have any opinion on them, you just have to be conscious and observe them. But we optimize for what we measure, so what we measure is just as important as how we measure it. When we choose the wrong measurement, we get the wrong behaviour or result. If you want to lose weight, you could measure by your weight on a scale or by how many steps you take that day. Both could help you lose weight, as looking at your weight on a scale may motivate you to work out more, and looking at your steps every day may motivate you to walk more. So both could increase your daily activity, but we tend to optimize for what we measure. So choosing the correct measurement and the right measurement for you is going to help you in optimizing that measurement. And this doesn't have to be you choose one and you're stuck with it forever. If you find that a measurement isn't working after a week or 2, then change it for another one. But you've got to stick with it long enough so you can actually see a result, and you've got to make you've got to be indifferent to the decision. You can't be emotional about it. You've just got to understand the facts and then make a decision off those. If the measure isn't working for you, change the measure. If the behavior isn't working for you, change the behavior. If you implement these habits daily and commit to performing them with absolute presence and patience, I guarantee you will find your life becoming more complete and fulfilling. You will transform your view of the world and of yourself. The world wants you to grow, it wants you to evolve, and it wants you to experience. And when you do that with unrelenting effort, absolute presence, unmoving patience, and unwavering self-belief in both yourself and your goals, it conspires to give you what you want and more. I'd love to hear your perspective on the things that I have said, so leave a comment. And with hard work and dedicated effort, you can accomplish anything.